Hello, Jazz Band. This is our very first assignment, and we're going to call this Chapter 1, Chromaticism. So, welcome to this. Let's grab your horn and make sure you're ready to go. Fortunately, most of us don't need a long-winded discussion on the definition of the chromatic scale. In the larger sense, it is every note on your instrument from top to bottom. In the smaller sense, and in the way in which you'll begin to use it, the chromatic scale, or chromaticism, is each and every note between any 2 points on your instrument. There's no key involved, so there's no actual root of any chord. You just have a starting point and a stopping point. When players use chromaticism between two other notes, which are diatonic, it's usually to embellish or decorate the basic, otherwise scalar phrase. In the hands of an expert, chromaticism adds richness and variety to the phrasing, whereas the more inexperienced player may initially find it tricky. To begin with, we're going to practice this with using 4 and 5 note groups, playing chromatically between various chord tones up to the ninth. You'll see here we've got the root, the third to the fifth to the seventh, and the seventh to the ninth, and then the same thing back down. We're going to be doing that for major, minor, and dominant chord structures, but for today, just for the majors. This is going to build your technical facility, create an opportunity to hear the chord tones associated with these structures, and give you something to play other than just scale tones on chord changes in all keys. As far as pacing is concerned, we're going to go from simple to complex. So if this is too easy, then we'll start building speed, but otherwise, this is worth practicing and taking a little bit of time with every day. Most players I know are not particularly comfortable with the concepts of chromaticism unless they are already at a strong professional level. So what we're going to do here is take a look at exercise 1A, the chromatic scale, between chord tones in C major. So we're going from C to E, then E to G, G to B, B to D, and back down again. The first thing that you need to do is take a minute to practice this slowly. And for now, let's do it slowly in a straight style so you can lightly articulate between each note and see if you can get it just perfect going about this speed. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, and hopefully you got to the end there just at the same time as I did. Now this one, obviously it's in concert C major in treble clef. For your instrument, you may need to adjust that to something else. You can do those transpositions pretty easily, especially since the first scale degree is written right there, going to the third, and you're going in groups of 5 chromatic notes and 4 chromatic notes. 5, 4, 5, 4. Get really good at this and get used to doing it up to half note equals 60 or quarter note equals 120. When you're ready to do that, you should be able to use the play along track that's included in this assignment, and I'll play it here.
1,
Oh, that's good.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, and you'll hear that it actually goes on into a second exercise. We're going to learn that one next week. It's one that we have played before in class, but we're going to get really good at it because now we've got the time, so let's take advantage. When you listen to that, you hear that the saxophonist on the recording is actually phrasing each set of 5 and 4. So before you do this assignment to hand in, spend a little bit of time listening to how the saxophonist plays and think about how you're going to make those styles happen for your own playing. The best way to get better in a style like this is to copy players that you admire. And here's a really great example of a way that you can copy a simple exercise and make it sound a little bit cooler than just straight up and down the chromatic scale. So a couple of things you're going to notice. All major, minor, and dominant chords have intervals that are either major thirds or minor thirds. To play chromatically between major thirds, like these first two scale degrees here, takes 5 chromatic notes. A minor third takes 4. So when we're trying to build a major ninth triad like this one, 5, 4, 5, 4. When we're doing minor and dominant, those patterns are going to change, and we'll talk about those another day. But it's always going to be in groups of 5 or 4 notes. One thing that you really need to keep in mind is that whenever you're doing scale exercise, anything that you can do up, you should be able to do down. So make sure you play both lines of the exercise and get good at it going in both ways. To separate swing styles from Latin styles, make sure that you're playing all the swing styles legato or smoothly. Horn players should slur or articulate slightly on the upbeat. For Latin style, play the eighth notes in a detached manner. A little crack of daylight between the notes is good. Horn players can tongue these notes on the upbeat, but evenly. One of the things that you'll find is that with the swing style, if you push the offbeats more than the downbeats, the line will swing more. For the Latin styles, play the eighths pretty evenly, still articulate the upbeats, but in a little bit more of a detached way. So you're going to work on this. You're going to get through all of the major keys. And if you are pretty skilled in this area, start pushing your metronome and see how fast you can get. This is one of those spots where you can actually have a really great measurable quantitative way of saying, I want to be able to play it half note at 60 or half note at 80 or half note at 100, and see how fast you can get it while being perfectly accurate and relaxed, including G flat, C sharp, all those crazy keys that you don't usually play in. So here's my recommendation. Here's how I would do this assignment if I were you. Listen to the track all the way through and keep track of the style. How are things being articulated? How are things being done? Second, get the keys under your fingers and make sure that you can actually play this exercise in groups of 5, 4, 5, 4. And then start playing along with the exercise. When you're ready to, you can, often with this exercise, I would suggest play with headphones in. You'll notice the saxophonist is only in the left earphone. So when you're ready to play without the saxophone as a guide and you want to start doing your own stylistic things, take the left earphone out and just play with the backing track, which will be in the right side. It's kind of neat that it's split that way. Now let's listen to the whole exercise, and you will just be responsible for the first 8 measures of each key for now. So here we go. We're going to hear that first part again.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 notes, 5 notes, 4 notes, descend. 5, 4. Now this part you can just listen to. This is the second exercise you're going to learn. And here's the third exercise. Notice how the offbeat emphasis is making it sound like it's swung, even though it's straight. And here comes the back exercise. Here it comes.
Key 2. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So we went from B flat to C major. Okay, so I think you've got an idea of how this is going to work. So when you're using chart 1, you'll notice it gives you the concert pitch keys here on the top 3 lines. Concert B flat, C major, F major, E flat, A flat, D flat, F sharp, B, E, A, D, and G. And since you're just doing the chromatic scale exercise, that's the scale, or that's the note that you're going to start on. You play the first 8 measures, then the second exercise that you heard is in that 16, the third exercise that you heard is in the 8, then there will be a little break, and it counts you in on key 2, or key 3, or key 4. So make your way through that. Best of luck to you. If you're a B flat instrument, your keys are in the lines 4, 5, and 6. And if you're an E flat instrument, your keys are down at the bottom of the page. If you've got any questions, please text me over Remind. This should be a pretty fun and pretty straightforward exercise, so I hope you enjoy this. And when you are finished, and you feel like you're kind of ready to put some of your practice up on Flipgrid, get a recording of yourself playing along with the backing track and put it on Flipgrid. You won't have time to go through all of it, so maybe pick your favorite key that you want to play along with and just show us what you've got done there and how you're making it sound. All right, everybody, have a great time, and I will talk to you soon.